hello, everybody. My name is Regina Milanes. I'm the International Business Development Manager of CQUniversity, and I'm based in Sydney, Australia. My background is actually the front of our Sydney campus, so you can appreciate as to what it looks like at the front. Now, part of my role at CQU is to ensure our international students have a smooth transition to CQU. So I'm also here to answer your questions and help you with your application and enrollment to our university. I just want to firstly thank Asia Pacific Group, or APG, for arranging this session for us. And thank you everyone for taking the time today to attend our webinar, to hear about CQU's offering and see if we're the right university for you. Studying and living abroad is one huge investment, so I can definitely appreciate the fact that you need to seriously consider the best option for you. So please make sure you send us your questions via the chat, and we'll answer them during this webinar, or otherwise we'll get back to you offline as well. Now, just in terms of my slides, I think you did confirm that you could see it, so that's really good. To quickly get started, for those who haven't heard about us, CQU stands for Central Queensland University, since we were established as a college in Central Queensland, located in Rockhampton back in 1967, which is 57 years ago. We then gained our university status in 1992, and ever since then expanded across Australia, hence why we just call ourselves CQU, or CQUniversity. So in terms of the slides, you'd be able to see some of our campuses. So we started with one campus to now being Australia's largest regional university, having over 20 study locations across the country, with 12 campuses available for international students, including in major cities such as Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne. Like I said, these are just some of the images of our campuses, as well as the facilities and the environment in both the metropolitan cities as well as regional. Now, I also encourage you all to go to our YouTube channel so you can see more of the facilities there. But I guess in terms of the benefits of having multiple campuses is that our students may have the option to transfer from one campus to another. So that way you can discover more of Australia. So if you're, for example, if you're studying in Sydney and maybe you want to try a regional lifestyle in Rockhampton, as an example, you may have that option, which is great because, like I said, you can get to discover more of the country in that regard. Right. So why do students choose CQU? There are many reasons why students do choose us. And since we're addressing our fellow Filipinos today, a little fun fact is that just over 43% of our Southeast Asian students come from the Philippines. So you can be comfortable knowing you have other students from the Philippines who will be on campus with you. As I mentioned before, we're Australia's largest regional university, and we're also one of the fastest growing and emerging regional universities in Australia. We're in the top 2% of universities worldwide for graduate employability, and in the top 150 young universities in the world. We're also ranked at above or well above standards when it comes to our research programs. I've mentioned about our multiple campuses that we have. You'll find that CQ is one of the more inclusive and accessible universities in Australia, along with our generous scholarships. We offer internships and work placements at no additional cost. And we find the company for you to work in as well in a lot of our popular courses. As a dual sector university, we also offer vocational courses in addition to full degrees and research. So we can offer you multiple pathway studies if ever you do need to have that type of study path. We also have 3 academic terms starting in March, July, and November. November is an optional term, meaning you can take 3 terms if you want to finish your degree sooner. Otherwise, you can just do the standard 2 terms per year and take November term as your holiday break or a time for you to work during that period. Now, as I mentioned, we rank among the top 2% worldwide for graduate employability, which is significant given there are over 35,000 universities globally, just to give you that perspective. So we're very proud to be listed in the top rankings. Our employment rating in Australia is at 87%, which is also the highest in Queensland. And we're also well above the national average rating, which is at 69%. So you can be confident that our students are highly sought after, providing them greater job opportunities in Australia or back to their home country. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So to the audience, please make sure to put your questions in the chat box. And we have 14 study areas available, as you can see on the screen. For everybody here, please type in which areas you're interested to study just in the chat box, just so we can get an understanding as to what type of study areas you're interested in. But as you can see here, we have allied health, study areas in business, accounting, creative and performing arts, digital media, education, pretty much you name it, we will most likely have the study area that you're wanting to do. And in terms of the levels as well, as I mentioned, we are a dual sector university. So not only do we offer English for academic programs, English for academic purposes programs, but also the full degrees, the bachelor's, the master's, the vocational, so TAFE courses and certificates or diplomas in hospitality management, as an example, or diploma of business study, as an example, or even diploma of nursing, heading towards the Bachelor of Nursing, again, as an example. So yes, we do have those full degrees as well as the research as well to consider. Let me just see. No one has typed in their study area of interest yet, but that's okay. If you do want to take part, make sure just to type in as to what type of course that you're interested in. Just type it in. But I did put in some popular courses that our Filipino students are currently enrolled in or are applying for. So one of them is the MBA Global, which is our 2 years full-time program. And in terms of the intakes, it's available every March and July intake only, and it's also only available in Sydney and Melbourne. So even though we do have the 12 campuses available, not all campuses deliver the exact same courses. So I suggest for you to go onto our website or speak to APG just to confirm as to whether your course is at the location that you would want to live and study. But the great thing, the reason why the MBA Global is very popular for our international students is not only because it's 2 years, but in terms of the entry requirement, with the traditional MBAs, you're usually required a minimum 3 years full-time professional work experience. With this MBA Global, you're not required to have that minimum criteria of 3 years full-time work experience. The benefit of this is that as long as you have a bachelor degree, you can apply for the MBA Global. And also just ensure that you also meet the English language requirement, which is a minimum IELTS score of 6.5 with no band less than 6. Now, as I mentioned before, that we're one of the more affordable and competitive universities in Australia. So as you could see in terms of the tuition fees, this is already including our 25% international student scholarship, which we are offering to all of our international students as long as you meet the academic course requirement. So it's pretty much automatic. So once you receive an offer at CQU, it means that you have already met our academic requirement. So you'll be able to see the 25% international student scholarship included on your offer. So in saying that, per term, what you're looking at is 12,870. Per year, you're looking at approximately 25,740 Australian dollars. The Master of Business Management is another popular degree for postgrads. And the reason being is that there are majors in it, whereas with the MBA Global, it's quite structured. But if you want to specialize in an area, then perhaps the Master of Business Management might be the better option for you. So for example, if you work in the health industry and you want to become, get into the management side of things, you then select the Emergency and Health Services Management as a major. And as you can see here, there's other majors that you can choose from. And again, in terms of the intakes, it's available every March, July, and November, and only available in our metro campuses as well. The English language requirement is slightly lower, so a minimum overall score IELTS of 6.0 with no band less than 5.5. The tuition fee is slightly higher, but then in saying that, if you do compare us with the other, in terms of our counterparts, you'll see that we're very competitive when it comes to the tuition fees. Master of Public Health, again, is a 2 years full-time study duration, available in all 3 intakes, and only in Sydney and Melbourne. The Bachelor of Nursing is another popular course where our international students apply for. With both of these courses, there are limited spots. So what I would encourage for you to do is to ensure that you provide all of your documents and ensure that you meet all of the conditions. If you've ever been given a conditional offer, make sure that you meet them right away, because usually with these capped type of courses, it's first come, first served basis. So make sure that you do meet all of your conditions as soon as you can. Another popular course is our Master of Laboratory Medicine. And correct me if I'm wrong, APJ team, but we're the only Queensland university offering this course. So it's very popular. It's 2 years in duration, available every March and July intakes. I'm currently delivering it at our Melbourne and Rockhampton campus. By next year, so in 2025, we will then make it available in Sydney. So for those who are considering to start next year, you may want to consider applying for the Master of Laboratory Medicine in our Sydney campus. All right. Now, I briefly mentioned about the scholarship. So currently for this year, we offer the 25% international student scholarship. And we don't have a minimum GPA in order for students to be qualified for the scholarship. As I mentioned before, as long as you meet the course requirement, you'll get an automatic 25% scholarship onto your tuition fees. And that's to cover for the full duration of your studies as well. And I know that we're addressing our Filipino students or prospective students right now. So I did do a currency exchange, just so you can get an idea as to roughly how much it would cost if you were to study our Bachelor of Business as an example. So in terms of the standard fee, without the scholarship, you are most likely to be paying over 1.2 pesos. But with the 25%, it will then be reduced down to less than 1 million. So you are saving around 300,000 pesos in cost per year for this 3 years degree. For those who are interested in the MBA Global, again, in terms of the savings, as you can appreciate, it is a lot to save if you were to consider studying with us in that regard. We also have the Destination Australia Scholarship. Now, this is an initiative provided by the Australian government for the students who are interested to study at a regional location, at a regional campus. So, for example, with the Master of Laboratory Medicine, we deliver that in Rockhampton. If you were to apply for that course in Rockhampton, you could apply for the Destination Australia Scholarship. So we only need that 500-word statement addressing how would a Destination Australia Scholarship assist with your studies. And if you are selected, then we would then provide you that $15,000 per year to cover during your studies. So that's if you were to study in Rockhampton. And on top of the $15,000 per year, we would also provide the 25% CQU International Student Scholarship. So you're pretty much saving a whole lot of money if you are to consider studying at a regional location. Another benefit of studying at CQU, for those who are wanting to study a bachelor course with us, is that we have this thing called graduate guarantee. Now, this is the first of its kind in Australia. And basically for the bachelor students, if you, so basically land a job in your field of study within 6 months of graduating. If you don't find a job within the first 6 months after you graduate, you can apply for our graduate certificate in leadership and entrepreneurship at no cost. Now, this is valued at nearly 7,000 Australian dollars. But look, we are that confident, like I said, we're in the top 2% for graduate employability. Now, we're that confident that our graduates, whether domestic or international students, if you don't find a job after you graduate, we will offer you that graduate certificate in leadership and entrepreneurship for free. Now, with this grad set, it is online, so it doesn't extend your student visa. But in saying that, this will definitely assist you when it comes to finding, becoming a lot more employable in that regard by learning more of the foundation skill sets within the entrepreneurship and leadership skills. Another benefit of studying this grad cert is that if you do consider studying a Master of Business or MBA, do further studies, you can potentially get credit towards your master's degree. So that allows you to save further on cost as well as on time as well. All right, so this is my second last. These are just the important dates. In terms of the dates, as I mentioned, March and July are compulsory terms, whereas November is optional. Our term 2 will be starting on the 8th of July. Specifically, if you are really wanting to start by our term 2, our orientation week starts on the 1st of July. Classes will start on the 8th of July, so that's on a Monday. And the enrollment deadline will be Friday of week 2, which is the 19th of July. And you need to be on campus by this date to avoid deferring to the next available intake. So just something to consider if you are really wanting to commence as soon as possible. Please do submit your application through APG. If you have any other questions, please get in touch with APG. And just take note that it does take time for the application process of the university as well as the student application process. That duration can take about 2 to 3 months. So I definitely would encourage for you to submit your application ASAP and have your unconditional offer, and accept your offer and make that payment by May. So that way you have a reasonable time to apply for a student visa. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Regina. It was such an informative session. And yeah, a lot of different things actually. Good, nice. I would just like to ask our participants if they have any questions for Ms. Regina before, or any questions in particular with regards to anything visa related or admission related. You could actually ask, you could unmute yourselves and ask your questions if there is any. Okay, I think everyone is good to go, Miss Regina. And I was just curious with regards to one of the programs that you are offering for the nursing courses for students who have done nursing overseas. You did mention that you can provide an RPL option and give credits towards that. So how long will the duration be reduced to after the credits, usually on a usual basis?
Yeah, so in terms of the credit, actually with many institutions, they offer only up to 50% credit towards the degree.
Right.
We actually offer 60%.
Oh, that's good.
So what obviously I can't tell you exactly right now. So what I would encourage for everybody who wants to apply for this or any type of credit to submit your detailed course outline. That way our team can then assess it to make sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, Ms. Regina. Thank you so much for that again. Okay, I think if nobody has any questions at all, we can wrap up this session for today. Thank you so much for your time, Regina.
Thank you very much.
We will get in touch with you. Oh, just give me a second. I do have someone is onshore on a tourist visa with her husband as dependent and would like to enroll in any school that will. She's an RN. Oh, good. I see. I asked you the question and we got a case already for you. Okay. So I think
Maybe offline.
sorry.
Did you want me to answer that or offline?
Oh no, you answered that already actually. So
Okay.
she's an RN back home. So I will be actually talking to my team to submit this application. You are accepting tourist cases, right?
Well, that's the thing. So as long yeah, unfortunately, those who have a tour or on a tourist visa were unable to process the application just because of the new tightening of the migration policy change.
Right.
So, but for those who have had a student visa, a very recent student visa, and then want to do further studies, then those are the type of prospective students we can accept.
Don't worry, Jana. I think we have another option for Gladys to enroll for, so don't worry about it. We'll help you out separately. And then eventually we're going to be sending Gladys to CQU.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Any other questions before we wrap up today? Okay, I'm going to be applying for a student, but not master's. Is there any requirement like to take IELTS? Wayne, if you don't mind, I just wanted to ask you, where are you located at the moment? Are you in the Philippines or are you onshore?
Hi, Sir Wayne.
Wayne, if you'd like to
Okay.
unmute, yes, you can go ahead so that we can speak with you directly. So he's in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yep. So for the Philippines one, I believe
IELTS is required.
yes.
So for masteral, 6.5, right, Miss Regina? 6.5 overall score.
But he's not going for masters. He would like to go for the bachelor's. So do we have Mr. Wayne, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing your contact details with us and we can separately talk to you about the procedure to take up a bachelor's with CQU and eventually apply for a student visa? Amazing. So you could either privately message me, us, and we will get in touch with you. My team will get in touch with you.
Any other more questions from the participants?
Okay.
I
think we are good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Regina,
Thank
for
you
your
for your
time.
time,
Thank
Ms.
you,
Regina.
everyone, for joining in. That's totally okay, Wayne.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for attending. Thank you so much.
Take
Bye.
care.
Ms. Regina, again, thank you for your time. Have a great day.
You too.
To
Take
everyone, thank you so much for attending this webinar this afternoon. And we hope to see you in Australia soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.